Today's workshop is going to be tips for a successful schooling experience. So this is definitely an introductory workshop, an introductory type of workshop where we're going to really touch on a lot of things that have to do with generally your child, your student being successful during their 4 years here at Sweetwater High School. So it's a lot of general information. We're not really going to dive into specifics. Those are things you can reach out to us, because I think specifics are more of a situation with each individual students. This is going to be more general information to help you, the parent, and the student navigate their time here at Sweetwater. So I just want to remind everybody that this presentation is being recorded. We do record these presentations because we like to post these. There's a lot of parents that are either working or unfortunately cannot join us this morning. So we would still like them to have the information. So we do record these and we put these on our site so that parents can come in later and get the information that they missed. Just wanted to let everybody know that you are being recorded, or the presentation is being recorded. So I want to introduce your counselors here. Unfortunately, we have a couple pictures missing because we have a couple counselors that joined us a little late. So we're missing these here. So these are your counselors. We are divided by alphabet, by last name. So you can see there the alpha breakdown. So the two counselors that are missing are Mr. Tran. He joined us this year. He has some of the G's through the L's. And we also have Mr. Armando Melendrez, who also joined us this year. And I'm missing his picture there, unfortunately, as well. But we'll try to get those pictures up as soon as possible. So these are just some of the faces out there, just so that you know we do exist. We are out there, and this is who we are. So I just wanted to put that out there. Meet your counselors. Objectives. So really, what do we want to cover today? The important things we're going to cover today is we want to put out information that'll help you and your students know what it is that you need to do, what it is that you need to accomplish to be college ready, what you need to accomplish to graduate from high school. There is a little difference there, and we'll talk about that. Isn't graduating from high school the same as being college ready? Yes and no. There is some differences, so we'll talk about that. And how to communicate with your child's counselor and with the school. What are the different ways that you can communicate with us? I know during this time, during virtual learning and distance learning, communication is key, and we want to make sure that everybody has the means to communicate, has a way to communicate, and where to communicate. So I just kind of wanted to throw this out there. This information is information we put out every year, but the truth is we are living different times, right? We're living through a pandemic. Things are different. Schooling is different. Almost every aspect of life has become a little different, right? And we have to adjust to what's happening. So that's the same thing we're doing here at Sweetwater as a school, as a counseling department, as a school as a whole. We've had to adapt to the circumstances, and we've had to change a lot of the things we do in order to be able to offer what we offer to our students in the best way that we can. So a lot of the things we're going to talk about today have to do with where we stand now as students and parents living through this pandemic. So how do you connect with your counselor? So these are the ways right now that you can connect with a counselor. We're here to support the students. You can reach us via our email. So if you're an email person, go ahead and reach us through our email. You can reach us through Jupiter Messenger. If you use the Jupiter system and you've signed up on the Jupiter system, that's definitely a way that you can reach out to us. And you can call us. If you just want to call us, you can call us at our phone number here in the counseling center. There's nobody on site right now, but the awesome thing is, like before, you can call the number and you can leave a voice message. If you leave a voice message, that might take a little longer for us to get back to you, but somebody will get back to you eventually. So those are the ways right now that you can reach out to us. I know in the past, you could walk in, you could come see us at school, but currently these are the ways, obviously because of the pandemic, you can't just walk into the site, you can't walk into the counseling center. So these are the ways that you can reach out to us currently. If there's any questions at any point, feel free to unmute yourselves and just kind of ask away. I mean, I know we don't have a ton of people, so it's okay if you just kind of jump in. If you have a question, please feel free to do that. So this is how you can communicate with your counselor. Emails can be found on the counseling website, which brings us to our next page here. I was going to put an image here, but I had a hard time putting that image. But I'm going to take you to our counseling website just so we can give you a brief. So this is what our SUHi Counseling website looks like. This is a very comprehensive website with all the information that students and parents would need, and some. So Ms. Luancin Garcia, one of our counselors, is our webmaster on this webpage, and she does a great job of including everything that we're doing. We have all the tabs from contact us. So this is where you would go if you want to reach out to your child's counselor. So under the Contact Us tab, you can go there and all of our information is there. From our alphas to our to our email addresses to our phone numbers. So feel free to go under the Contact tab and you can reach out to us. We have everything on here from distance learning updates. So this has been updated, graduation requirements, community service, scholarships, etc. So a lot of the things that I'm going to talk about in the next few slides are on here. So if you ever want to reference back, please be sure to come on our Sweetwater High School counseling page, SUHiCounseling.com, and you can get all of that information here. You can link to this page from our main site as well. If you go to the regular Sweetwater webpage, you can link to this site from there as well. So this is definitely something that is useful. I always like to present this webpage to all our parents and to our students because it's a valuable tool. Any questions on SUHiCounseling.com? Oops, excuse me, sorry. Graduation requirements and A through G. So these are the graduation requirements that are set out by our district. And a lot of these are state requirements as well. So as you can see, this is just a simple user-friendly table of all the classes, all the categories, and the years that students have to take in those specific categories. By their senior year, a student needs how many? 44 credits. A student needs 44 credits to graduate. So as you can see here, they need the 4 years of English. They do the 4.5 years of social science. They need the 3 years of their math, which is their IM1, IM2, IM3. Students need 2 years of a world language, the 1 year of a visual performing arts, which is all of our arts. They need some elective classes, and they need to take their PEs. So here you can see what that breakdown is. Simple way of looking at it, but all of this is accomplished during their 4 years. Then on the side, if you come to the last column here, that's where you see A through G. So the A through Gs, if you've heard that term before, if you haven't, what A through Gs is, these are the requirements. These are the classes that students have to receive a C or better in order to be considered and be able to apply to a 4-year university, a CSU or a UC come their senior year. So this is what that is. This is what students have to accomplish and have to finish by their senior year in order to apply to a 4-year. They usually will not be considered, their application will not be considered if this is not completed via a UC or a CSU. So this is something important. So I know sometimes we ask, what's the difference between graduation requirements and being college ready? That's that difference that we usually refer to. These are the graduation requirements, 44 total credits. Yes, in the graduation requirements, a student could receive a D. We don't encourage students to receive a D, obviously, but you do get the credit with a D. A D will not satisfy the A through G requirements. Colleges, universities do not want to see Ds, and they will not take Ds. So these are the graduation requirements, A through G requirements. And I believe Mr. Tran was going to pick it up from here.
Great, thank you, Mr. Garcia. So, in addition to the previous slides regarding the graduation requirement, the district does require, all our graduating seniors to graduate with 30 hours of community service, and they can do it in different years. They can do it in 9th, 10th, 11th, or 12th grade year. But we do ask that all community service hours are submitted and posted by May of their senior year. We do have the community service board, I guess, and then you can refer that back to the council website. They can give you information of where you can do the community service hours. We highly encourage that you visit the SUHi Counseling.com website to get more information. In addition to the graduation requirement, please note that when it comes to the credits, when a student attends high school 9th grade to 12th grade and pass every single classes, the maximum number of credits that a student can earn is 48. The district is only asking for 44. So there's a four credits buffer, I guess, like a better word, that student can fail, like a better word. It's not something that we encourage, but the classes that he or she must pass are the core classes that was presented before. Again, when it comes to the credits, usually, when a student takes all the required courses for graduation, it does not equal to 44. So that's where the elective credits come into play, and that's about 7 credits. So it's a combination between the required core classes and your elective classes coming together that meets the minimum 44 credits. Next slide, please, Ms. Garcia. The state fitness requirement, our high school students are required to take PE as part of the requirement in 9th grade and 10th grade. Usually in the month of February, they will be taking the fitness test. And the fitness test is going to determine whether they have the physical ability, the physical fitness that they need for part of their health. And if you have the opportunity to take it in 9th and 10th grade. If you pass it either in 9th grade or 10th grade, then 11th grade, you do not need to take PE again. We do have a handful of students that do not pass the PE fitness requirement, and so that's why you may see some of your juniors or seniors having to take PE until they pass the fitness exam. Next slide, please. Compact for Success is an agreement that we have with San Jose State University that guarantee admissions to SDSU. Some of the requirements can be detailed later on as the students go through their high school career. It does include some scholarship for students with financial need, and the best part about the Compact for Success also is that once they get accepted into San Jose State University, they have mentoring, tutoring, internships, and guidance counseling for students to be accepted for the Compact for Success. Again, there are additional requirements that are need to be met to meet the Compact for Success. But I think Sweetwater High School, I believe, is one of the only school district in the county that has a Compact for Success. So that's a very unique thing for our students here in Sweetwater Union High School District. UC and CSU requirements, I believe, again, Mr. Garcia mentioned this a little bit in the previous slides. But again, please keep in mind that the UC and CSU requirements are in general. The accumulation of the GPA and when they start calculating their classes starts in 10th grade, not in 9th grade. But again, don't get us wrong. The classes that he or she takes in 9th grade also still counts for the A to G requirement, such as the English class, for example, or the integrated math one, for example, or maybe a biology class that he or she may have taken in ninth grade. There are some of our students who attended Granger in ninth grade and come to us in 10th grade. Those classes that he or she took in ninth grade over at Granger, the core classes, will count towards the A through G completion. Please also keep in mind that the A through G requirements do require C grades or better. D's and F's are not accepted. If the students do receive a D or an F in one of the core required classes, then we highly recommend that students attend summer school to make that up, or attend our credit recovery that we usually have for the fall semester, and another one in the spring semester. In addition, students also need to take a college entrance exam, and usually we recommend the kids to take it sometime in the second semester of their junior year or the very beginning of their senior year. And some of the tests that the students can take are the two tests three tests that the student can take to meet the requirements: the SAT, ACT, and the SAT subject test. Depending on what test they take will depend on what university they want to attend. Again, there are some also private colleges and out-of-state colleges that also require to take the SAT and ACT or the subject test, and those are usually case-by-case situation. Community service hours throughout all 4 years of high school. It is very important if the students are wanting to apply for the UC schools or the private schools. We do highly recommend that they do community service hours. The community service hours numbers that we sometimes recommend for them to do is a total of at least 100 hours of community service hours. And again, they can do it, throughout their high school career, or they can do it in their junior or sophomore year, or sophomore and junior year, or junior and senior year. Again, because of the application process of when it happens, our senior applied for the college and university roughly about October, November of the senior year. So if you have any community service hours that you have completed, we recommend that they do it, prior to the beginning of their senior year. And next slide, please.
If I can add something, Mr. Tran, thank you. So just as I mentioned earlier, in the earlier slides, this is all the information that we generally give our students and our parents. But again, keep in mind, we're kind of living through this pandemic right now. COVID-19 has kind of tweaked a lot of things, a lot of requirements. So we still encourage students, especially our underclassmen, to complete the community service that's there at the bottom bullet that Mr. Tran just talked about, because four-year universities do want to see that. They want to see that commitment. They want to see that dedication to the community. However, COVID has changed that. As a school, we're not really encouraging currently, like right now, we're not encouraging students to go out into the community for obvious reasons. So our seniors this year, our class of 21, those community service hours have kind of been adjusted. And as a matter of fact, for the graduation requirement, they don't need the 30 hours this year because of COVID. Now, that's just for this year. So if you have underclassmen, that doesn't really apply to them. And we hope the pandemic will be over soon, right? So that's a way where COVID has tweaked and has changed some of these requirements. Back to the SATs as well, as we see the college entrance exams. This year, there's also been a change in that. Colleges are willing to waive the SAT and the ACT, but that doesn't mean they'll be doing that for underclassmen when their time comes. So I just wanted to throw that out there, that COVID has continued to change certain requirements when it comes to the college application.
Thank you, Mr. Garcia.
Yeah.
Okay, in addition, so rigorous courses is always recommended, right? So as a freshman, sophomore, junior, start thinking about taking accelerated courses, honors courses, and AP classes. These are academic rigor classes that may give them extra points when applying for the four-year university. Again, how much and how little you want to have the students take, it really depends on a family conversation of how much to take. Having taken a lot of AP classes in high school may jeopardize their GPA because they may be overloaded. but also, taking these rigorous classes is going to also help them better prepare themselves, mentally, emotionally, and giving them that discipline to transition to higher education because it will be the next level up. Again, it will prepare for the students for college classes because, again, college classes are a little bit more rigorous than the comprehensive high school. Matter of fact, a lot, depending on what university you take. The students in high school also have the opportunity to take AP courses that in exchange give them opportunity to AP exam. The AP exam is usually given to junior and senior in May of their year. And depending on what course they take and depending on what score they receive, they also earn college credit as well. We've had some, seniors or students in the past that have graduated from high school that have taken numerous AP exams and has passed the exam test. And so they're able to transition into college with having college credits under the belt already. AP and honors classes can raise your GPA because it is weighted. There are some, families and friends and relatives that you hear sometimes, graduating above a 4.0. And the reason why they are able to graduate at 4.0 because they've taken numerous APs and getting good grades and A's and B's in them. And then also the honors courses as well. So again, these classes can also, again, give you the opportunity to raise your grade point average and also grade your grade point average to above a 4.0. Thank you, Mrs. So next is Ms. Vera. She's going to talk about homework and the last few slides that we have in the presentation. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Tran. Some ways that the students can be successful passing their classes is by doing the homework. Your teenagers should have homework every day. Find a quiet place for your teen to do homework. Make a habit of asking your child if he or she has been assigned any homework. And parents should be checking Jupyter grades to monitor completion of assignments. If you ever have any doubts or questions about your child having homework, you can always contact your child's teacher and they should have a response for you about homework. Next slide, please, Mr. Garcia. Attendance. It's very important because the student will be missing valuable information if they are not here. Reviews of tests or homework questions. If your teen will be absent, please call our attendance office. The phone number is right here. It's also listed on our website. If you're not sure about an illness, please call the nurse. Usually a cold does not mean the student needs to stay home unless feverish. Of course, it doesn't apply right now because of COVID. More detailed information is on the handbook that's on our website. Next slide, please. Checking in, health and wellness. This goes for students and adults. Remember to breathe, practice self-awareness, pay attention to when you're feeling stress. You can talk to others, ask for help if needed. Try to sleep at least 9 hours a night. Make healthy food choices. Learn to manage time wisely. Practice healthy organizational skills. Find time to do something for yourself, like go running, color play, anything fun, and unplug from social media and technology. Very important to stay healthy. And next slide, please.
If I can add something to this, Alexa, just because so we always encourage students and parents and everybody, right, even staff, to really focus on their wellness, on their social, emotional, well-being. But I think this is a time that we need to be reminded of this more than ever, right? Because we're seeing a lot of depression, we're seeing a lot of anxiety amongst our students. So this is really a time that we really want to emphasize and focus on health and wellness, because the pandemic is really taking a toll on adults. I mean, it's taking a toll on staff, on school staff. All of us are working out of like a little office or room in our house. So everybody's in the same condition. Everybody's in the same situation. So I can't imagine how our young youth and our students are handling all of this. So they are having a hard time. So we definitely want students to focus on this, to focus on themselves. As a counseling department, we do our part to push out our wellness Wednesdays, for example. So we have Miss Elizabeth Luancin Garcia, who's really taken on that role and putting out our wellness messages to our students on Wellness Wednesdays and on other days of the week. We call it Wellness Wednesdays because that's the day that Ms. Luancin puts out a message, puts out some tips to our staff and students. But really, wellness is something we concentrate every day of the week, right? I know we put out messages via our social media platforms, which we have Facebook, we have Instagram. So we put those messages out that way. Just we have. Are you going to do the slide?
Yeah, I'll do it.
Oh, okay.
So a successful tip for students passing classes would be monitoring grades. The progress report dates that we already have the September and the November one. So the next one is the final one that goes on the transcript is the December 18th one. That concludes the first semester report card. And then spring 2021 dates are listed here, February 26th, April 23rd, and then the final being June 4th. A tool that you can use to monitor grades is Jupiter Grades and Infinite Campus. You can log in on those to check on your student grades and assignments that have been turned in.
Very good.
Thank you, Ms. Farah. In regards to Jupiter Grades, are all the parents here on this platform are able to have access to Jupiter Grades? Is there any parents here that do not have access to Jupiter Grades?